Hello. All right, now everything should be unmuted. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Does everything sound okay? Can you hear the game? It should just be like, yay. It should just be like ambient sounds. Nothing really to, it's like some crickets, some water. It's kind of quiet. There's no music playing right now. All right. So this is going to be, yeah, there's not really much sound in the game right now. It's actually like almost nothing. Let me just make a noise. Just hear something's audible. Why am I a scholar? There we go. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Game audible. Perfect. Okay. So, let me just kind of talk through what I'm going to be doing for like the next month of fishing streams, because this is going to be really stupid. Oh, let me scoot this over so it like actually like doesn't look terrible. Okay, so basically, big fishing in Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, thank you. I spent a bunch of time trying to actually like set up filters and stuff on it. This is like a $15 microphone, so if I can make it sound nice at all, it's actually really a testament to the power of technology and software over hardware. So basically, when people talk about fishing in Final Fantasy XIV, they are normally talking about big fishing specifically. So if I pull up my fishing log in game, you can see that there's like different fishing holes everywhere, and they all have a bunch of different fish in them. And the last fish of each hole, or usually one of the last fish of each hole, is going to be what's called a big fish. And it's like kind of the rarest fish of the hole. You can kind of think of it as the boss fish. And those will have like more complicated requirements. A lot of the fish can be caught with multiple types of bait. The big fish will normally only be able to be caught with one specific bait. They'll have more complicated time or weather conditions. You can only catch them at specific times in game, specific weathers in game, etc. And so some of these can be like really rare. We'll also have like there's like a buff called Fisher's Intuition. You have to catch a specific set of other fish before that one can even be caught, and you only have like 3 minutes to catch it before you have to start recatching stuff. Some of these can only be caught using another fish you just caught as bait, and so on. And a lot of the more complicated ones have a combination of these things. And there are 6 fish per expansion that are designated as the legendary fish. And these are just like big fish that are just the hardest ones. That's really just, there's no real mechanical difference. They're just like the really hard ones. And like certain skills that are designed to make things easier to do just don't work on them. So overall, there are 289 big fish in the game. And this is an alt that I made about a month ago. And as you can see from my achievements list, I have the big fishing achievements pinned. I have caught 0 out of 289 big fish. Not a single one. So when you caught all 289, you get the title, The Final Fish. So I am starting from 0 right now. And that makes me sad, because on my main account, I have the Final Fish title, which is very impressive. It's my rarest title. And if I am streaming fishing stuff, I'd like to at least be able to show off that I'm a good fisher, you know? Something to show off. I've got the ocean fishing title on for 16,000 points on a fishing boat. I don't even have the 20,000 point title yet. So I don't really have a lot to show for myself here yet. So of the 289 big fish, there are a few that are especially rare. The big 3 that people usually are referring to when they talk about like the rarest of the rare are called Cinder Surprise, Ruby Dragon, and Elid Scan. And those three are up very infrequently. They have less than 0.1% uptime total. They will be available often for like Ruby Dragon has it's like an 11-minute window. So it's only available for like 11 minutes and then it'll be gone for like 5 real world days. Cinder Surprise I think has like a 5-minute window and then it'll be gone for like a week. Illid Scan has a 90-second window, and then it's just gone. And it's not unusual for these 3 fish to only be available once every 2 or 3 days, once every 4 or 5 days, and it's just not unusual to see them just go away for 2 weeks, 15 days. Like, people jokingly refer to that as them going on vacation. It sucks when it happens, but it's like not that rare. They'll just be gone for 2 weeks, at least 10 days. It happens. For the most part, the big fish tend to be available much more frequently than that. These are kind of outliers. There is, however, one more outlier, an extreme outlier. The Bobgoblin Bass is a non-legendary big fish. There is nothing special about it. It is not rare. It is not difficult to catch. It is, I'm just gonna like 100% confirm before I say something wrong and like completely embarrass myself. But I don't believe it has any requirements at all. Yeah, no. It's a mooch. It's a mooch off of a sweetfish. It's really, really easy to catch it. It's not rare. It's got no intuition requirement. The window for Bobgoblin Bass is up usually every day or two. But for some reason, it has the occasional extreme outlier window. So tomorrow at something like 6:15 a.m., the Bobgoblin Bass has a window. And it will not have a window again until April 24th. For 37 full real-world days, the Bobgoblin Bass will not be up to catch. There is nothing special about this fish. It is not rare. It is not hard to catch. It does not slip. There is nothing... There is no reason for it to be this hard, like for this rare. It's nothing. It's not hard. Like if you make it to a Bobgoblin Bass window, you're basically like, you're not guaranteed because it's always luck based. Like you're never guaranteed anything with big fishing, but like if you make it to like a Bobgoblin Bass window, you have a really good chance of getting it. Like there's no the fact that it's gone for 37 full fucking days. It is one of the all-time records for the longest downtime of any fish ever. The current record for longest ever downtime held by any fish is a 39 full days. That was also the Bobgoblin Bass. They've gone through and they've actually seen what the longest window for the next 150 years is. And it's not the Bobgoblin Bass. It's a 41-day Cinder Surprise window. But the Bobgoblin Bass has like come close a few times, which is insane. There's nothing weird about it. So, with that in mind, let's talk about the Bobgoblin Blitz. That's me making like a streamers, like party popper streamers sound like. That's not supposed to be like sentenced to unavailability jail. Yeah. So the Bobgoblin Blitz. So this is an idea someone in the Fishcord, the Final Fantasy XIV Fisherman's Horizon Discord had. Cavanessa, I believe they were the first one to actually have this idea. Basically to do a recatch of every big fish during this window, or at least to see how close you can get. There was an idea to try and make this like be a formal event, but like there's logistic reasons why this doesn't really work that well. I mean, first of all, is the fact that for most people it would have to be like totally honor based, because like I mean I'm on an alt, so like I have no fish caught, so you can easily see what my progress actually is. But for most people, that's not necessarily the case. Let me put my total up. 0. So for most people, it'll be honor system, like a fun little personal challenge. Cavanessa's doing it differently than me. I believe Cavanessa's a she. 1 second. Actually, do I have the fish cord up? It's gonna see the most recent little bit of conversation about the Bobgoblin Blitz here. So it's like one of those things that's like not really enough of an official event. Yeah, Countess is a she. So so the way she's doing it is a little bit differently than me, because you see I'm level 90 and I'm fully geared up and I'm like kind of ready to go. She's starting at Fisher level 1. But like basically it's the same idea. We're just seeing how far we can get into the whole thing within these 37 days. And other people are doing stuff for the Bobgoblin Blitz that isn't like recatches, just because it's like an informal thing. I think Fruity Snacks, who does a lot of the guides and a lot of kind of community stuff for the fishing community, is going to be working on a lot of the text guides that he hasn't finished working on yet. One thing that's kind of interesting is that this actually sort of coincides. They're doing the first ever regional data center travel test starting like next week. So I think there's going to be like international events done during the Blitz. Like people were like mentioning this might be possible. So I'll definitely be streaming those when they come up. But for now, let me just quickly talk about what I am actually going to be doing specifically. So let me just put a big blank square over everything. All right. Here are my personal rules explaining exactly what my Bobgoblin Blitz challenge parameters are. First, I was considering making this as like a PowerPoint, but I just like didn't have the time. Number 1, the Bobgoblin Blitz lasts from 6:26 a.m. on from tomorrow to 10:45 a.m. on April 24th, when the next Bobgoblin Bass window opens, which is 37 days. So I have caught 0 big fish, and I'm not going to catch any tonight. So since I'm not going to be here at 6:20 a.m. tomorrow, I effectively just when I get home from work is when this starts for me. I'm also not going to be here on 4/24 because that's like a Wednesday or something. So there is, however, at like 5:45 p.m. that same day, a second Bobgoblin Bass window. So assuming I usually get home from work around like 4:30 or 5. So assuming that I can actually like not get held late at work and I make it home and traffic's not too bad or whatever, and I can make it to that 5:45 window, that's going to be like my capstone to the whole event. Is I'm going to make it to that Bobgoblin Bass window and I'm going to try to catch it in that window, and I'm going to count that as my finale, even though it's technically not the close. And that'll be my conclusion, my finale for it. All right, next. The goal is to catch as many of the 289 big fish as possible during this time. Ocean fishing is not going to count for this event at all. Ocean fishing has its own completely distinct set of achievements and rules and parameters. And it's totally separate in uptime for things, so ocean fishing stuff doesn't count for this. I will be doing ocean fishing in the meantime because it's the best way for me to get white script. So I'm going to have to do this to get more bait and high cordials, but I'm not going to be going after the ocean fishing fabled fish as part of this challenge. So that's not like relevant. Those don't count for the 289. So that's just like kind of the plain statement of, that's like the plain statement of the Bobgoblin Blitz itself. That's what I'm doing. I have 37 days to try and catch as many of the 289 big fish as possible. Do I think I'm gonna do it? Fuck no. Absolutely not. There is zero chance in hell. Like, absolutely no. There's no way. Absolutely none. It took me 18 months to catch the ruby dragon the first time. Like, I've done final fish before. Like, I know what it takes. Like, I've done this. There is no way to do this in 37 days. Like, not to complete it. But I want to see how far I can get. Especially because, like, honestly, if you, aside from the, so there's the 30 legendary fish, which are, like, actually hard. And there's, like, another, say, maybe 20 or so? Yeah, maybe 20, 25 big fish that are, like, still fairly challenging. A lot of the like older big fish are like only difficult because they just get away, or like are just rare, but there's no gimmick to them. They just like are rare or get away a lot. But like newer skills make them like way easier to catch. So like the vast majority of the big fish are really just more of like a box ticking exercise. So honestly, a lot of this is just kind of a way to get a big chunk of that box ticking done in kind of a concerted way, so that my fishing alt can actually make some good progress towards final fish. So I only have the fun ones left to work on by the end of this. So this is like the statement of the big challenge, but I've got some like kind of additional what I'm going to say are extrinsic challenges. Basically, aspects of my life that make this a little more difficult that are not related to even Final Fantasy XIV in some cases. Number one, for 2 weeks of the Bobgoblin Blitz, I'm just gone. One of them is next weekend. One of them is like 2 weekends after that. I can't fish in that time. I'm just not going to be doing anything. So that's like 2 full weekends of fishing just immediately eliminated from the picture. So that's a lot of time just knocked right out. So I don't actually have as much time to do this in 37 days as you might think. Next, I have a full-time job. Like I work full work weeks. I have an on-site job. I don't work from home. I can't fish during my workday, so I am limited in what windows I can actually make it to. So if the fish windows don't cooperate with me, then there's just not really much I can do to that. My raid nights are Mondays and Thursdays. I'm not dropping my Blue Mage static stuff to go fishing on an alt, because I like them. I like my static a lot, and I would rather hang out with them and the commitment that I have made to make it to raid on time. So that doesn't take up my whole night. Oh, thank you. Hey, Aku. That doesn't take up my whole night, so I can still, like, you know, do some stuff before and afterwards. But yeah, so that's like 8 to 10 my local time. It's kind of occupied. One that I didn't put on here because I typed this up before the maintenance was announced is the maintenance tomorrow night, which is not only interrupting raid night, but also fishing, because I was going to do my very first Bobgoblin Blitz fishing stream was going to be after my raid tomorrow. I was going to do a quick stream for my very first I was going to do my first stream was going to be going for an Elad Scan window that's tomorrow night at around like 10:30-ish Eastern time, and that's being eaten by maintenance. So I don't know if I'll be streaming anything tomorrow, honestly, just because I have to get home, make dinner, etc. And then I don't think there's going to be much time to do anything before raid, and then raid's getting cut short by maintenance, so that's that. And then this is a fun one. I was just like poking through, looking at like the next 10 windows for a few of the rarer fish, and I was able to find just off the bat at least 10 that have at least one 10-day absence in the next month. So there's a lot of chances for things to just be uncooperative with my schedule and just like vanish into the ether, and just like I just might not have any chances to even try for some of these guys, let alone catch them. So that 0 out of 289, I don't know how close it's actually going to get to the top. My personal goal for the month, what I think is a reasonable number for me to actually hit, what I will consider a successful Bobgoblin Blitz, is I want to get to 100. I will consider it very successful if I get to 100 and I have knocked out at least 15 of the legendary fish. So just kind of some final notes. I'll be streaming a lot of this, and I'm mostly going to be streaming like the more interesting ones, like the legendary fish and some of the weirder regular big fish. But I'll also be fishing a lot off stream because a lot of these guys are frankly very boring. A lot of straight catches, a lot of like always up fish that are just like you use a bait and you go for it. I'm going to be recording everything. My plan is if it works out really well, I'm going to make like a supercut type video at the very end. Just kind of summarizing success or failure. We'll see. But also just, recording in case something really cool happens. You never know. Maybe something really cool will happen while I'm doing this. But yeah, no, I'm not going to stream all of it just because like nobody wants to watch someone catch. I put Fat Purse here, but honestly, I think the second one might be a better example because that is a fish that's extremely rare. You just catch it directly. There's no gimmick to it. You just like surface slap one thing, and then you just keep casting with the same bait over and over and over and over. It's got like a less than 1% chance of biting. It gets away every so often. Like it's got like a pretty high slip rate, and the window is usually like 20 to 40 minutes long. So it's like I literally can't imagine a less interesting thing to stream than trying to catch the second one. So yeah, these are my my Bobgoblin Blitz kind of not like rules, but just like my executive summary, my statement of purpose here, my white paper, my abstract. Can we go more corporate? I don't really work in corporate, but I like have to do a lot of corporate stuff, so I'm like out of corporate terms. Yeah, I'm gonna put that away. So yeah, you can tell when I actually have the game window open and when I don't, because it like has a slower frame rate when I don't have it as the active window. But yeah, so that is going to be the Bobgoblin Blitz. And that's going to be most of what I am doing for the next month of streams. I'm going to be trying to say in advance, yeah, Bobgoblin Blitz parameters. I was going to say today that my first one's going to be tomorrow night, going for Ilad's Gone, but maintenance ate that, so now I'm trying to figure out what my actual first stream for this is going to be, because that was such a perfect one too. So I need to start actually like coming up with schedule stuff for that. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll post some Bobgoblin schedules, and I will update with my totals every once in a while, and that will be it. So thank you everybody for coming to this very short and mostly just information heavy stream. Especially since most of the people... Oh, the music started. I really like the music in Upper Lenosha. It's got that kind of yeah, I like it. You know, people don't really mention the music here a lot, but I actually really like it. Sounds very pretty. I don't know if you can hear it audibly at all. Alright, that was kind of a digression. Anyway, yeah, thank you everybody, especially since most of the people that I have seen chatting do not fish in Final Fantasy. So, thank you all especially. And, fish, yeah. Hope to see some of you at some of my other streams. And, I guess, wish me luck with, Cinder Surprise. I am especially dreading because I lucked out like hell catching that one the first time, and I don't think the gods of fortune will smile on me a second time. So we'll see how that goes. All right. I will keep everyone posted on when I'm streaming, and I will record everything. And that's it. Thank you everyone, and good night.